Let's see. Are we live? It always... I'm not trying to like millennial pause, but I notice that it will, in fact, start broadcasting my video for at least several seconds before I can actually see any evidence of such a thing happening. So I don't intend for my streams to have awkward silences at the beginning of them. It just kind of works out that way. Alright, today is Friday, which is great. It's Friday, April 28th, 2023. I hope everyone is having a wonderful Friday, a fabulous Friday, a fantastic Friday. I hope it's really good. As I turn off my space here. I hope it's wonderful. Yes, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Do 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 do. Hello. Do 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 do. Yo, hello everybody. This is in the way. Hello everybody. I just ate some Taco Bell. Hello, hello, hello. Here, hello. How did the situation go with the DC-07? And two people just asked that. So, okay, so I imagine... So I'll go ahead and tell the story, but since you guys were here first, if anybody else asks this later in the stream, you'll have to kind of give them up to date on it, because I don't want to explain it a million times. I'll explain it like 3. So, what happened was, with the Dyson DC-07 all floors, which I refurbished, although I don't know, I didn't do a video on it when it was done. I kind of wish I did. I meant to, and I forgot to, but I can show you what the 7 looked like when it was done. It looked really good. So, pretty decent, considering, you're not going to be able to really tell much of that, but yeah, you can't really make heads or tails of that, but it was really clean. Bin wasn't perfectly polished, it was still a little bit cloudy, but it was a big improvement over what it was. And yeah, a lot of good stuff with it. And ended up putting a good amount of parts into it. Brand new filters with the gasket. Let's see. So brand new filters with the gasket, brand new hose, full set of genuine attachments, brand new clutch assembly, brand new hose. I think I said that already. And yeah, and then everything else was cleaned up and refurbished. So I had it listed for the whole story with that is I had it listed for $229, but if someone was buying it locally, I'd take $200 for it. So because I put $100 worth of parts into it, and I bought the vacuum for I think 10 or 20 bucks. So basically what happened was a woman who was looking for a vacuum locally messaged me, like within 24 hours of the listing being up. It was not up for that long. She messaged me, asked me a few questions about it. I explained that I fix vacuums for a living, and it's how I make my money and everything. And but I don't have a shop yet. So by this, and the first thing that she asked was, well, what's your bottom dollar? Which I hate it when people ask that question because it's so fucking lazy. It's like, hey, instead of me attempting to negotiate on price, I'm just going to ask that you just give me it for as low as you'll take. Because to me, asking what the bottom dollar on something isn't it's not, you're not even negotiating anything. You're also not establishing, hey, I only have this amount of money, so can we work with that? You're straight up saying, oh, I have money, but I just want to pay as little as possible. So basically, asking for bottom dollar is just a way of saying, hey, what's the least amount of money I can offer you without you getting pissed off? That's literally what it means. So I hate it whenever people say, oh, what's your bottom dollar? Not, hey, can you knock 10, 20 bucks off? Or, hey, you know, can you explain why it's worth this much? Just, it's really lazy. She's not the only person to do this. Many people do this, but it's very frustrating. Because it's like, if there was a certain amount of money that I would take underneath the price, I would list it at that price. Or the only other way that you could interpret that is, oh, this seller is listing it for more, so that way there's negotiating room, which some sellers do. I don't. I will generally list it for what is a fair price for it. So so she shows up, and well, I'm jumping ahead of myself. So what happens is she says she wants it, and she says 200 sounds fine, and she said, oh, I have this Hoover that I just bought at Walmart. She didn't say what it was, but I knew what it was because I saw the vacuum she was talking about before she bought it. It was a Hoover Wind Tunnel High Performance. I showed it in the last stream. So she bought that, ran it over the edge of a rug, burnt the belt on it. She bought new belts on Amazon, but she wasn't able to put them on. She didn't have enough strength to get the screws out. She couldn't figure it out. And so she said that's why she was buying a new vacuum. So she asked me, do you take trade-ins? And I said, unfortunately for that machine, I would likely not trade it in because it's not a machine that I'd really be interested in, and it's not a machine I'd be able to sell for very much. So I'd have to pass on the trade-in. But I said it in a really nice way. Like, I didn't say no, but I said I wouldn't be interested in that machine. So, and then after I say that, she doesn't say, oh, okay. She just kind of moves on and asks me another question. Like, oh, what all did you fix on it? That sort of thing. So she's like, can we meet tomorrow? And I'm like, yeah. So we schedule a time. I had to reschedule because she wanted to meet at a time when my fiance had a doctor's appointment for his foot. And that also made me be a little bit late on the meeting, which I don't know if this is part of the reason why what happened, but I apologized. I let her know what was going on as it was happening. Hey, we got out of the hospital really late. We're on our way. I got to run home and grab the Dyson. So she says like, oh, well, how far away are you? And I'm like, I'm right in town. It's only going to take me a couple minutes. I'm grabbing the Dyson right now, and I'm on my way. I'll be there in 5 minutes. And then 1 minute later, she messaged me back and says, I'm still waiting. Okay, like I just said, I'm 5 minutes away. It's been less than 5 minutes. I'm literally driving there. I don't know what to tell you. So I didn't say any of this to her, but, because I didn't even see the message so much afterwards, after all this went down. So I meet her. I let her know, hey, sorry, I'm running late this appointment took way too long. I'm running late for another appointment. So, real quick, do you have any questions about this? And she said, yeah, I want to know if you can trade in my Hoover. And I was like, unfortunately, I wouldn't be able to do a trade-in on the Hoover, but since you're buying the Dyson, I'll fix your Hoover for free, which I also said this over the phone. I said, even if I don't take it on a trade-in, I will still put the new belt on for you at no charge, since you're buying the Dyson. And so she's like, so she asked me if I can do 150, and I'm like, no, I already said what my lowest price was, and it was 200. And she said, no, you didn't. She's like, we never agreed on a price. I'm like, we did though. Like, I'm not, and like, I don't know what to say about that because that was not true. The first thing she asked me was, what's your bottom dollar? And I said 200. If you ask me for bottom dollar, that's not negotiable. You're asking me what the lowest amount of money I'll take is. That's 200. So And she said, well, if you gave me a trade-in, what would you give me? And I was like, I can't get much out of these. I mean, I can only sell this machine for about 40 bucks. So, I mean, the best I could offer you is 20 for it. And she's like, but I just bought it. I'm sorry, that's still, like, these Hoovers don't sell. And she's like, well, you could definitely sell this Hoover for 80 bucks. And I started to get frustrated because I'm like, okay, now you're trying to tell me, what I can get out of something when, explain this to me. You paid $120 for that Hoover, brand new, and you're telling me that I can get 80, like, let's do the math on this. So, she's telling me that I can sell this Hoover for $80, and that, therefore, I should give her 50 for it, because that's how she got to her 150, is she wants me to buy her Hoover for 50 bucks, so that way she can get rid of the Hoover and only pay 150 for the Dyson. So, let's do the math on this. So, 120 divided by 80. Oh, that's not the right math. Okay. Hold on. Well, I know 60's half of 120. I know that much. So she's basically asking me to sell this Hoover for like close to 75% of what it would sell for brand new. And yet, even though I pointed out that the fact that this Dyson retails for $400, she's saying that $150 is more than fair because I'll make my money back. And I'm like, you're telling me I met here fully expecting to make $200 off this Dyson. And you agreed to that. Whether you want to lie and say that you didn't, you did. I have the messages to prove it. First thing you said was, what's your bottom dollar? And I said 200. So explain this logic to me. A piece of shit Hoover that you can buy from Walmart is worth 75% of its value, and it's worth 50% of its value when it's non-functional. But a Dyson that has several brand new parts installed, has been fully refurbished, is not dirty, does not have the entire top of the handle chewed up, has all the attachments, but somehow that isn't worth half of the amount of what it sells for. And her logic for saying 150 and why she wants to get 50 out of her Hoover, she also kind of disproves her point, because at first she says, oh, well, this Hoover's definitely worth 50. You should definitely give me 50 for it, because you can definitely sell it for 80. That's bullshit. I can't sell that Hoover for 80. Why would and she knows that. And so then she says, oh, well, I want this for 150 because I found one on eBay for 150. And I'm like, all the refurbished Dysons, all the professionally refurbished Dysons that I found on eBay are 300 for this model. They're anywhere from like 288 to like 350. And mine is way less than that. Way less than that. And she's like, but the one I found said it was refurbished. I'm like, okay, I don't know what listing you're talking about. I just researched all of this before I listed the machine. The machine's been listed for less than 48 hours. I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't say all of this to her, but it's like, okay, well, it doesn't matter. I already told you what the lowest amount that I can go on it is. Whatever the reasons be isn't necessarily relevant. And so I told her, I was like, the best I can do for you right now is I can give you 20 for the Hoover, and that would knock the Dyson down to 180. That's the best I could do. And she's like, but if you're not gonna, so then she said, but if you're not gonna give me a trade-in on my Hoover, then I don't want the Dyson. And I'm like, but I'm only offering to fix your Hoover because you're buying the Dyson. She's like, but I don't need 2 vacuums. So I'm like, okay, well then if you're wanting to sell your Hoover, I can't give you 50 for the Hoover. I can't even sell it for 50. The best I could do is I could give you 20 for the Hoover, and that would knock the Dyson down to 180. And she's like, well, she's like, $20. I just paid 120 for it. And I'm like, and I just put over $100 worth of parts into this Dyson and spent over 2.5 hours cleaning out the entire machine and polishing it. And she's like, yeah, but you must have only spent like 10 or $20 on the vacuum itself since it didn't work. So you're telling me, by her logic, I spent 10, $20 on a working but faulty Dyson. And that's to be expected. Because that's basically what she's saying. She's like, well, it's no, you definitely got it for a good deal. So why does it matter? But yeah, she's trying to get me to buy her broken Hoover for 50. Yes, the belt's a simple issue, but nevertheless, that's still an issue I'd have to fix. So at this point, I'm just like, bye. At this point, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna, I started to pick up her Hoover and put it back in her car, and she's like, well, but what? She's like, well, 160, and I'm like, nope, I already told you. I said the best I could do is 180. That's like right now, just to get this out of my hair, the best I could do is 180. And she's like, fine. After much back and forth, she's like, 170. I'm like, no, 180. Sorry. I'm not going any further down. I'm like, I'm late. I'm running late for something. This was not supposed to be happening. I'm leaving. I'm taking my Dyson and I'm leaving. And she said, fine, 180. But since I'm giving you 180, can you still fix my Hoover? I thought you didn't need 2 vacuums. Whatever. I said, yes, I'll still fix your Hoover. I'll still put a belt on it. If you give me 180 for the Dyson, I'll fix your Hoover and I'll give it back to you. She's like, well, how do I know you're actually going to give it back to me? That's a fair question. Don't get me wrong. That's a fair question. So I answered. I said, you have my contact information. You know my name. You know my Facebook. Just, I will message you in the group chat from this Dyson. In that same message, I will respond tonight after I put a new belt on the Hoover, and I'll let you know when it's ready and when you can pick it up tomorrow. And she was really hesitant. She's like, but what if you keep my Hoover? I just told you I don't want the fucking Hoover, so why would I take it? I'm literally telling you I don't want it. So why would I steal it? And first of all, technically, let's be honest, most people would probably have no problem taking the Hoover and just keeping it, because you just wasted a shit ton of my time and tried to fuck me over on site and lowball me after I just took time out of my day, took time off of work to be here to sell you this machine. But I didn't, because I was done with this, and so finally finally we come to that agreement. I say thank you, have a great rest of your day. I'll let you know. I help her put the Dyson in her car. I show her how to operate the clutch knob. I show her where all 3 attachments are on the machine. That's very important. She asks, "Oh, is the filter washable?" I show her how to empty the bin, and I show her how to access and take apart the washable filter. I let her know she needs to wash the filter every 6 months. When you put it back in, make sure it lines up correctly and it clicks into place so you're not losing any airflow. The hose comes off with a little button on the back. It's super simple. It's great. So by this point, I have my money, which she lied. She only gave me 170. She said 180. She lied. She just gave me the 170 because That's all she had. That's all she had in this envelope. She had the money for the Dyson in a separate envelope. She had other money. I know that because she was pulling it out. And again, and look, here's the thing. She was a much older woman, probably on a fixed income. That's totally understandable. But I am not a mind reader. I can't tell based on your messages that you're on a fixed income. And I also can't hypothesize that is somehow going to equate to you trying to give me less money on the meeting site, because you should have said, hey, I only have $150 to spend on a vacuum. Do you have a cheaper one? Is there a way you could do $150 on this? And if not, do you have a cheaper one? Or can we do a trade-in with my vacuum, or maybe with a cheaper one? That's what she should have said. Do not show up. Do not show up and try to stiff somebody on site, because at that point, you're doing it on purpose. And I understand she was probably going through a lot, and now, knowing what I know now, I understand why she might have been hesitant to trust me. It's understandable. But just because you're worried about someone taking advantage of you and taking your vacuum doesn't mean you try to screw them over back or screw them over first. Because that's just not how you deal with things. If she wanted a deal, she should have said something during the time that we were messaging each other prior to the meeting. Because based on what she was saying, she was clearly saying over the messages that she was paying $200 for the Dyson. So I was really disappointed. I was really upset, honestly, because it just felt really, really demeaning, because I already got ripped off on the Shark rotator when I sold it. That's a whole nother story, and we'll get into that. But it was just, I understood later that she was going through a lot of stuff. And that's why I didn't want to be mean to her I didn't want to actually be mean to her. I still want to be understanding and still explain the situation without actually being negative. But at the end of the day, even if you're going through a hardship, you don't take it out on other people, because if you're feeling negative, don't spread that negativity. Like, be positive. That's it's just not productive, because it didn't help anything. It just made me feel like shit for no reason. It made me feel like it was worthless. It made me feel like all this work that I put into this machine was irrelevant, and I shouldn't, then I shouldn't even be remotely. I'm not going to say proud, because that's not the right word. That I shouldn't even be remotely capable of acknowledging any work that I did. Because that's what that rang to me. No, I acknowledge the fact that you put this work into this machine, but I don't care, because it's old, and I don't care. I don't value anything you did. I only care about myself, and I want to make sure that I can get what I want for less than what it's worth. That's the way that I interpreted the situation. Whether that was her intention or not isn't necessarily relevant. So I was pissed, because I missed my therapy appointment, which was my first ever appointment. I still don't even know how to actually reschedule that, because I never had to reschedule an appointment before. I assume I probably have to call him on Monday. And of course, after all of this, I needed it the most, because I was like, it ruined my day. And at that point, I got home. I did the stream yesterday, or 2 days ago when it happened. And I was obviously very upset. I was obviously, I'm probably going to go back and delete that stream. But, it was just frustrating because it was just handled very poorly. And it definitely says a lesson about how to approach making a deal on marketplace or just on selling sites in general. Both parties have to respect the terms of negotiation, and when both parties don't respect the terms of negotiation and respect common courtesy, then nobody's going to be happy. And so here's what ended up happening. That night, I'm in the middle of fixing the Hoover. I'm putting a new belt on it, because she just happened to be texting me, like, right during the 2 minutes that I was putting the belt on. And she was like, I thought you said it was complete. The stair tool is missing. And I'm like, it had every attachment with it. I showed you all 3 attachments on the machine. The upholstery tool, here's exactly what I said to her. I said, the upholstery tool, it's clipped onto the side of machine, to the left side of the machine, right below where the power button is. It's on the opposite side of where the dusting brush is. She's like, well, I already put it in the closet, but I'll check in the morning. And I said, okay, great. And I was really worried. I was like, please don't tell me she lost the attachment already. And because I was really worried that she was gonna use the machine, not like it, get it all dirty, and then try to get me to give her money back. Because I've had people do that before and get really angry with me that I won't give them a refund because they're done renting my vacuum for free. And it's not pleasant. Because it's like, why I can't do cash refunds on a vacuum. You just ran your own dirt through it. That's gross. I don't want it. I'm not doing that. It's like, I'll give you a different machine, but I'm not going to give you a cash refund. That's ridiculous. And I know, because the few times that I've done it in the past, they were lying. They were actually lying. Because they would say there was a problem, they would say something didn't work, and I'd grab it from them, I'd give them their money back, I'd take it home, test it, and it would immediately fire up. It's whether it was a Dyson or a Shark or anything. The second I took it home and tried it, the issue they mentioned, that they always said was persistent, they never said it was intermittent. They would always say, oh, I turned it on, it doesn't work. And they would say, this doesn't work on it, the power head doesn't work. In fact, that's almost always what the issue was. The power head doesn't work. And then I'd recline it, power head immediately kicks on. Happened with a DC-15 and happened with a Shark rotator power lift away. Both cases, they said the power head didn't work. Recline the machine back, power head immediately kicks on. No problems. Ran it through the whole house for 20 minutes, power head never kicked off. Great, you're full of shit and you just scammed me. So, because yes, even though you gave me the machine back, you ruined it in the process. Now I have to clean it up. Now I have to replace the filters again. Otherwise, I can't in good conscience advertise the filters as new. But thankfully, good news, she never did that. What instead happened was, the next morning, I didn't even message her because she gave me the belts. The belts she ordered on Amazon, so they had their address. So it had her address on the package. So before I went to work today, or was it yesterday? I can't remember what day it was. Yesterday it was. I just took the vacuum, taped the belts up in the package, the extra ones, taped it to the handle, and I just set the machine on her front porch and I left. Except I didn't do that. My fiance did that. And apparently she was there and picked it up. And apparently she was really happy about it. And she was like, oh, thank you. I love I wasn't here to witness this, but according to my fiance, she was ecstatic. She tried the Dyson. She loved it. She loved how easy it was to push. She loved the hose. She loved how well it cleaned. She loved how quiet it was. She said it was the best vacuum she ever used. She said, honestly, I love this thing so much, you didn't even have to give me my Hoover back. That's what she said. So after she was so worried about me stealing her Hoover, it turns out, well, she didn't want it back anyways. And neither did I. So those two cancel out. I didn't want to deal with it anymore. Here's your Hoover back. But that definitely makes me feel vindicated, at least a little bit. And she found the upholstery tool. It was where I said it was. So I also forgot to mention this during the negative portion, that after she said that she doesn't need 2 vacuums, whenever I finally said that I'm giving her back her vacuum, and as I was leaving, she said, "Oh, it's okay because my sister will buy it from me for $50." Which is weird, because if your sister is going to buy it from you for $50, why did you need me to buy it from you? Why didn't you just give me the 200 from the Dyson, like we agreed on? You know, not cause all of this stress, and then just get the Dyson for the $150 in the end after your sister buys your freshly fixed Hoover from you. I don't get that part. And that didn't even click with me until way later when I was telling my roommate about it, right before I streamed on that Wednesday. And I was like, wait a minute. Why did she tell me that she doesn't need 2 vacuums and that's why she wasn't going to buy the Dyson when her sister was going to buy the Hoover from her the whole time? I don't know. She didn't give off the vibes of having any issues with memory or anything like that. Maybe I just didn't see it. So I don't know. But nevertheless, I hope her sister enjoys her new Hoover, and I hope she enjoys her new Dyson. And I'm hoping that she was honest and stated that I was the one who fixed the Hoover, because who knows, maybe that'll become a repeat customer. Well, it's kind of hard to have repeat customers because I legitimately try to make my machines work well enough that they don't need repeat customers, because I mean, that Dyson isn't going to need any service for another 5 years. So I don't know. So while I was really disappointed about it when it initially happened, it had a positive resolution in the end, which I didn't know as of the last stream. So it was still really up in the air. So at the end of the day, I basically took $20 less than what I was anticipating, but she really enjoys it. It clearly helped her out a little bit, and now she's able to pass along her current vacuum to her sister. So as long as she's happy, I'm happy. I'm just disappointed that it took all those steps to get here, but better late than never. If she's happy, I'm happy. So I'm just hoping that my next sale goes a little bit more smoothly than that. So that's that. Also, I just bought a Cibo X7. Okay, that's all. I haven't bought it yet. I need to move some money over. But yeah, so from Garrett, I'm buying a Cibo X7, the newest Cibo that just came out. So that's good. So that's that. So the story has a happy ending. All is well. Dyson's gone to its new home. And here's the extra. Yes, the lovely Garrett, indeed. Garrett is a sweetheart. I love him to bits. He's a great friend. So, yeah. So at the end of the day, it worked out. A little bit of teething issues, but it's fine. Now here's some good news. Related to Dysons in general, but not that specific one. So the next 2 machines I'll be fixing and putting new clutches in and rebuilding will be the other 2 clutch Dysons. So a DC-14 and a DC-33. Both the yellow all-floors models, just like the 7. So DC-14 will be next. I have 2 DC-14 all-floorses. The first one that I'm fixing up will be the one that I got alongside the Eureka Boss Power Plus. The one that I got for free. So Well, technically, I gave him $5 for it, but whatever. Basically free. So the good news, I already have a clutch. It doesn't need any parts to my knowledge. Haven't got that far yet, though. Brush roll, I think, is okay. Fingers crossed. That 2-pack of DCO7 filters that I bought, I can use the HEPA filter from that in the 14, and I think the premotor filter is okay. So if I wanted to, I theoretically could sell that 14 without spending any money on parts. Hopefully. And by spending any money, there still will be money that went into it, because I still bought that clutch. I still bought those parts. But there'll be ones that I already have, so I don't have to spend any money right now to get it up and running. At least that's the hope, anyways. Same story with the 33. So, we will see what happens with the 14. Because the 14 is my favorite Dyson. At least out of the clutch models. So I did really enjoy using the DCO7 all floors when I had it, but there was a part of me that was regretting selling it. In fact, when the transaction initially happened, there was part of me that was like, if I knew I was going to deal with all this, I would have just kept it. But look, I have plenty of other DCO7s. I have a DCO7 carpet, which is not going anywhere. I have 2 DCO7 low reach models. I may sell one of them, but I don't know. And I have a DCO7 pink. So, I have 3 other clutch DCO7s, and I've got like 3 or 4 clutch DC14s. Well, I guess all my DC14s are clutched. So, for the 14, I sold my animal. I'm going to sell this all floors, so I'm going to keep one of my other all floors, my low reach, and my full access. I'm still getting a complete and a full kit at some point, especially the complete. I know there's somebody on here, not this stream, but streams past, or they said they had a complete they were selling to me. I don't know whatever happened with that, but I'm still trying to get that. So, a lot of stuff is getting fixed. There's also someone local who I'll be getting a Bissell Power Clean or Pure Air, something like that, and a Phantom Cyclone XT. But that literally just started working out today, so we have not nailed down the details yet. So now that I rambled for a number of minutes, I'm gonna try to catch up on the chat really quick. Have you gotten any new phones? I just ordered this. I just ordered a white Galaxy Note 9. Now you might be wondering, didn't you show this off before? I ordered another one. I have 2 of these. Because my silver Note 9 doesn't like me for some reason, so I'm selling that one. And this white one, I don't know. I don't really want to mess with it. It's in really good shape. So I ordered another white one to actually use. Because this Note 20 is really annoying. It froze up on me the other day to where the touchscreen would not respond, and I can't log into my insurance to get a claim on this, so I'm pretty much stuck with that. And this Note FE is a little too old, and it can be a little slow sometimes. So, and the camera sucks compared to newer phones, even though it was really good at the time. So I did order that phone, which was another Alpine White Galaxy Note 9. That's not it. Another Alpine White Galaxy Note 9. So I'll have 2 of these, and whichever one is in slightly worse condition is the one that I will use and put my SIM card back in. So I'll be back on the Note 9, as I've consistently been on since the damn phone came out. So that's the only new phone I've gotten recently. There have been other phones I was planning on getting, but the fact that I just bought the SIBO kind of gets in the way of that, because now I can't afford any of those phones, because that's where that money went. So I was going to pick up a Note 10, but whatever. We'll get one later. Peach in the Mario movie was hot as fuck. I didn't watch that movie, so I don't know. Let's see. I got a Pan Am model today. I don't know what that is. Just got done servicing my washer in manual test mode. So I actually just found out on the topic of washers that you're not supposed to use fabric softener. because it fucks up your washer and gets a bunch of crap in it. So I've been buying these active washer tablets that you throw in your wash, and it's supposed to be able to clean the inside of it from the inside out. And from what I can tell, it seems to work very well, which is good because I don't want to have to tear down my washer or dryer if possible. My dryer is a bit of a different story because my lint trap my exhaust literally exhausts just underneath the house, and there's no outtake, which explains why it gets so hot in the dryer room. It's a bad design. There's no actual proper venting, so, and there's not really a way to fix it. We're not staying in this house. It's fine. I was considering fixing it, but apparently it's like really impossible. So, who knows? So yeah, I don't really know if I'm going to call her a scammer. I think she very well might just not understand how Messenger works or how Marketplace works. Maybe she was new to it. I'll give her the benefit of the doubt, but I still think there were some things where she should have at least gotten the hint on. You know, it's, you know, again, she ended up being really happy with it, but, you know, if I had known we were going to get into that whole conversation, I either wouldn't have done it, or we could have talked about it beforehand so I wasn't late for my appointment. And so I didn't miss it entirely, actually, because by the time I got out of there, my appointment was already halfway over, and if you're late to the appointment, you miss it. Like, you know, these people are on a time crunch, so let's see. Bro, I don't think she knows how much Dyson parts cost. Yeah, that's why I said, you know, I spent over $100 in parts. And she's like, but the vacuum's from 2004, so it's old. I'm like, that's not how that works. The vacuum itself is old, but the parts are brand new. So it's a brand new vacuum. And it's like, I don't get it. Because that Hoover she was trying to sell me is now old. They don't sell it anymore. That's why she bought it on clearance. Because that Hoover was from 2020. It's 3 years old. How is it worth anything? It's not a cell phone. So I still don't really understand that. Because, like, it's a vacuum. It still does the same thing that it did. It's not a cell phone where it becomes less usable as time goes on, even if it's still sealed in the box. That's the only thing I don't really get. But I don't really get what she was meaning about that. But yeah, I did give the Hoover back to her. I think I got to that. Is this the same lady you talked about in the last slide? Yeah. Society, love your mess. Everyone's simping for Parwaz, which is fine. Parwaz is great. Let's see. Parwaz, haven't seen you in a while. On the topic of Dysons, I saw you got a DC07 all floors, kind of. But yeah, what's your favorite Dyson? DC14, I think. I don't know. I always say 14. I'm not sure if that's the correct answer, but I don't really know what else it would be. My favorite modern Dyson is just the newest one, the Animal 3, because it's the best one. Otherwise, it'd be something like the UP19. Have you ever turned on a vacuum and it burnt out? I picked up a Dyson and it popped and died. Actually, I did get a Dyson that did that. It was a blue Dyson DC33. Not the one behind me, but a different one. Can't even see the one behind me because the mic's in the way. See it right there. It's blue. But yeah, a little bit of relief. So yes, it has happened before. A recent story is a bad ending, sadly. Well, that's not good. What was the time when you were vacuuming and a motor burnt out, or when a burnout scared you? I did remember a scenario where that happened, but I don't remember. I know there was a recent time where I turned on a vacuum and it was like, brrr, and I was like, Jesus Christ, but I don't remember which one that was. I picked up a Dyson DC14 Animal for my dad, and I didn't know the plastic was brittle and the entire motor housing snapped in half. Oh, that's not good. What is the best way to clean a Dyson without taking apart the motor? Watch my most recent video, actually. That will literally answer your question. I'm buying the Dyson V10. Please give me feedback on it. What feedback do you want? Did it have the HEPA filter on the side? Did what have the HEPA filter on the side? Get a non-clutch DC-14. I will at some point. What's the time when you were vacuuming? I think I just read that comment. Oh yeah, don't need to repeat it. Yeah. Again, I don't remember exactly which vacuum it was. I know the twin fan died, but I don't remember if it actually startled me or not. Yeah, no, that's not an example, because that one was actively dying, and I just let it run. I mean, like, I think he meant, like, something where it, like, exploded. And not even just vacuums with shot bearings. Like, the Power Groom Multicyclonic was like that before I swapped the motor. And the Hoover M-Power, which I still have not fixed, as I don't care. But I know there have been vacuums like that where they just immediately burnt out when I turned them on and they startled me. But I don't remember what that machine was. There's one that I remember, but I don't remember what the vacuum was. And it wasn't the Singer. I did order a used DC-14 ammo off eBay, and I will just take some parts off the Snap 14 because I washed all the valves and the Cyclone. I'm talking about DC-41, now corded upright, not the older design. Wait, talking about what? Oh, what is the best way to clean a Dyson without taking apart the motor? Same thing. You can still clean it the same way. That weird Dirt Devil. The Platinum Force? Or is there another weird Dirt Devil you're thinking of? Because when I think weird Dirt Devil, that's the first one I think of. I mean, the eye is pretty weird, but the eye still runs. I just haven't cleaned up the eye yet. If someone wants a bagged upright with tools and only has bare floors, you can buy Power Force. Yeah, no, that's not going to work very well. At that point, just get a Bissell Zing. Tell me if the Dyson V10 is a good vacuum and if I should buy it. Well, what's the price? Because it depends on the price. I honestly think the V8 is a better choice for most people. But if you want the extra capacity and the V10's a good price and it's on sale, then maybe the V10. So, I mean, are you getting it direct from Dyson? Are you getting it used? Where are you getting it from? The one that was in the episode where the Dyson exploded and you said the Dirt Devil sounded like a demon. I don't remember that. Is that the super deluxe edition? I still get recommended that video sometimes. In the old office at the old house. Yeah, Zing or any straight suction meal is if you have the budget. Or a Mighty Mite. A Mighty Mite does pretty good too. Although Zing is my preference. The one that was in the episode... No, I just read that. I do remember the vacuum save episode with the Platinum Force. Some of the comments said there was smoke coming out of the bottom. I know there was one where there was a Black & Decker air swivel where someone said they saw like smoke or sparks coming out of it. And I didn't notice them at the time, but I did notice them later on. I don't remember if I like gave that machine away or if I just threw it away. I'm pretty sure I just trashed it. What's the best budget cordless vacuum for carpet? Budget cordless vacuum for carpet. See, the problem is that budget cordless vacuums don't usually clean well on carpets. So really none of them are going to be like deep cleaners. Unless you find like a used Dyson. I mean, the Hoover One Power is decent, but it's not... It's $200. I don't really consider that budget. Budget I would consider like $100. Or somewhere in that range. I guess my go-to would be the Lynx, which isn't a thing anymore, so I guess it would have to be the One Power. I think Bissell has one. I think it's called the Featherlight Cordless. I think. I haven't tried one yet. Vacuum Wars, I think, just put out a video on it, but I haven't watched it yet. I've been meaning to review it, but I just keep forgetting to. I am going to review that new Bissell. It's on the way. Vacuum Save Super Deluxe Edition. It's a weird Dirt Devil with a dirt cup on the back. Was that the eye? Oh, I think that... Maybe that was the eye. I guess the eye's more broken than I remember. I remember the eye being, like, okay. Maybe the eye has more problems than I remembered. Yeah. Can you recommend a bagged upright under $200 with a brush roller shutoff? Hoover Wind Tunnel T Series Tempo. Bam. That's literally the first and only one that comes to mind. There's also the Max version, but I think they're the same price right now. So I guess get either one, whichever one you prefer, because I think they're the same price. Otherwise, get whichever one's cheaper. My guitar is badly out of tune. That's not right. I do have a Hoover cordless vac that has good agitating cleaner head, but the Cyclone's not very good at keeping dirt out of the filters. Thoughts on Bissell Ion Cry? If you don't know what it is, look at... I don't know what that is. Thoughts on Bissell Adapt Ion Set? If you don't know what it is, look it up. If I have to look it up, I can't give you any thoughts on it because I haven't used it. When the big parts under the commutator bar and a motor break, can you fake the parts with a soldering iron, or is the motor far gone? I'd say at that point, definitely change the motor. If the commutator is actually like broken, then yeah, just replace the motor. It's not worth it. It's not worth even trying to fix it. You really can't. Have you seen videos on the channel HPad? He does vacuum and fan destruction videos. Yeah, I've known HPad for years. I haven't talked to him in a number of years, but I've known him for probably like 5 or 6 years at this point. I kind of stopped keeping up with his content. He broke that new Dirt Devil. I haven't even gotten that new Dirt Devil yet, and he's already broken it. See, I'm wondering. So here's the thing. I just bought, or I'm about to buy, in case Garrett's watching this, I'm about to buy a Cibo X7. I really just need to do it right now, but I don't, whatever. So I'm about to buy a Cibo X7. I just bought I'm about to buy the new Bissell because I couldn't find it on Amazon for lots of time. And then as soon as I can find a listing of it actually for sale online, I'm also going to buy the new Dirt Devil that just came out. So there's going to be a lot of good vacuum content coming out very soon, because review on the Dart is coming soon. For some reason, people want to see me review the Power Drive first, the Dial-O-Matic, which I was kind of hoping that wouldn't win the poll because I hate that machine. I know it's controversial, but I can't stand anything with the self-propel. And so yeah, I'm trying to find a Concept 1 that doesn't have the self-propel, but they're hard to find. So, because I have a Concept 1 that is a power drive model, but I can't stand self-propels. So yeah. What do you think a good used price for a used Cibo ET1 power nozzle is? I just got a D4 for cheap, but it needs a power nozzle. Honestly, I don't know, to tell you the truth. I really don't know. Because, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they go for. I know you can order them direct from SIBO. I just don't know how much they are. Ruby, why are you standing by the door? Why are you standing by the door? Rubers. 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 Look at the camera. Look at the camera. Rubers. Look at that face. Look at that little face. Look at your face. Look at it. No. Hi, boopers. Hi, boopers. Are you being a crackhead? Are you being a crackhead? Yeah? You being a crackhead? Boop. Yes. She is the sausage. Sausage. Ruby. There was a period in time where she responded more to sausage than she did to her actual name. But not the case anymore. Ruby, stop eating. Why are you eating the? Is that a crumb or is that a wrapper? Whatever it is, stop eating it. The Doge, yeah, it's not really a Doge. Bappo's dog is a Doge, which I don't think he's here right now. But yeah. Does the Black & Decker air swivel filter well? No. The Black & Decker air swivel doesn't do anything well. It's like it's literally the worst vacuum I've ever used. I'm not even kidding. So if someone said, "What is the worst vacuum that you've ever reviewed?" Hands down, it goes to the Black & Decker air swivel. Actually, it's a Shiba Inu. Yeah. Well, my Doge is a Corgi, not, yeah. So mine's not an actual Doge. Mine's a Corgo, a Corgi. Ruby. She's just staring at the door. Please watch Honda Hands commercial. It's so cool. I don't know. Do you still have your cat from the Vacuum Deluxe Edition? I don't remember which cat that was. So maybe? Because the only cat we have still is Rika, because Riley gave away Patches, because someone we knew was wanting a cat, and Boots got out, and she still hasn't come back yet, which is not good. We saw her not too long ago, so I guess she has technically come back, but has apparently zero interest in coming inside anymore, which is not good. But as long as she's safe, you know, it just that's the weird thing about cats, is that like cats are so weird, because they're like, they say they're domesticated, but they're really not. Like if a cat goes outside for most cats that we've had, there's some exceptions, but most cats that we've had, they'll no matter how many times we don't let our cats outside, because it's not a good idea. In my opinion, you shouldn't let your cat outside unless it's on a leash. And I've been guilty of doing it in the past, but you know, you're not really supposed to do that, because they can obviously get hurt. They're obviously less obedient than a dog is, so they're not really going to listen if you're like, "Hey, don't go that way." And they like to go through spaces that dogs don't usually get into, so they could also be more opportunities for them to get hurt. But I have seen Boots around not too long ago, and last time I saw her, I'm pretty sure some other family must have like been taking care of her, because she was fat, not like pregnant. She was like round and fat, like someone was clearly feeding her. And I tried to have her come here like, "Boots," and she just wasn't having it. So she is, I guess, done with our shit, apparently. And yeah, which is, I would say it's disappointing, but it's like, you know, it's I mean, it's her life. It's up to her. It's what makes her happy. So if she wants to be outside rather than in the warm house, then that's on her. So I don't know what it is about cats, but they just always get out for no, like, you can keep all your doors closed, but then the second, if you've got your back turned and you let out the dog, they're gonna bolt right out the door. So I don't know. Rika did that a few times, but she came back and she was like, and she looked like she went through war, and she's like, I'm not doing that again. So the fuck this shit, I'm out mentality. Yeah, pretty much. Could you do a review on the Bissell Momentum Cyclonic? I don't have one. Otherwise I would. If I had one, yes. I heard the new Bissell shoots coarse debris out of the motor exhaust. I hope not. Don't have a cat, I only have a golden doodle. Yeah. Uh-oh. Is that Dad? Yeah? Uh-oh. Now she's complaining. Now she's barking like a chicken, which she does a lot. Very rarely does she full on bark, but she'll growl and then she'll do like a half bark. She'll be like, brr, brr, brr. She sounds like a fucking chicken. Ruby, are you a fucking chicken? Are you a chicken? Are you a sausage or are you a chicken? Bark, 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 bark. Bark, 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 bark. Anyways. When I let my cat outside, I watch her follow her. Yeah. If you're watching them, that's one thing. When I said no, let them outside, I should have specified, like, unsupervised. So. Yeah. Do. The beagle that I had rarely barks. When she does, it's always at random. Yeah. Ruby will bark. Here's the thing. If someone's breaking into the house, she probably won't bark. But, so if they're opening the door, she doesn't bark at them. But if they knock on the door, then she barks. It's weird. Taco Bell. As you can tell, I went to the Bell for the second time in 2 days. What can I say? I'm fat. Don't really like Mountain Dew, sorry. You don't have to apologize. I don't like it either, I just drink it. Nobody actually likes Mountain Dew. Oh, by the way, I got really bad food poisoning from some Mountain Dew Code Reds that I got. So I called Pepsi, and they're sending me a bunch of coupons. Also, here's some bullshit. Here's some bullshit. So I bought a Metabo drill, cordless drill, which it works really good. But alongside this drill, with the batteries and everything, I bought both of these brand new. I also bought an impact driver. But I hadn't used the impact driver for a while. In fact, I hadn't used it until a while after I bought it. Couldn't return it. And so I called Metabo, which apparently used to be Hitachi. I don't know. So I called Metabo, which part of the phone said Metabo, and then the other part said Metabo. Metabo makes more sense to me, so I'm going to call it that. So I called Metabo and let them know that my impact wasn't working. I described the issue. It was not spinning up properly. It was just kind of behaving erratically. Even with the same battery that on this drill works perfectly. Brand new battery was still sealed in the plastic when I got it. So, because I bought the drill in a set with 2 batteries, and then I bought the impact by itself, so that way between the two I had each a battery. So they had me mail it in. At first I couldn't find the model for some reason, even though it's a current model. It's called Hitachi in Europe. Yeah, so I don't know why they wouldn't just stick to Hitachi. Hitachi's obviously a more well-known brand. I don't know why they're shooting themselves in the foot like that, but maybe this is why, because the support apparently sucks. Because everyone that I talked to said, oh, Metabo support's really good. They'll just fix your tool for you and send it back. And it's really quick. I'm like, okay. So I call them because I can't find the portal on the website, because the portal for the support doesn't contain the model number for my impact. So I call them back, like, how do I do this if my model isn't on it? They're like, just pick one that's close enough. We'll send you a label. You can pack up your impact. I had a box that fit it perfectly. Like, it fit super snug. It was a box from a cell phone. So the impact without a battery fit in there perfectly. Like, it was perfectly tight on all corners. But just in case, I still wrapped it in some bubble wrap. And so sent it off to them. I sent it on February 27th or 28th. They know, actually, I sent it off like March 3rd or something like that. They got it March 10th. March 10th. It's April 28th. The email says that I will receive my tool back repaired within 5 business days. Which, even if I wanted to read that in the most charitable interpretation, because they said I would have it back in 5 business days, I read that as they'll send it within 5 days, as in they'll take up to 5 days to fix it. So a week, right? A week for it to be sent back. Never got an update, never got a tracking number, never got an email, never got a phone call, even though I filled out all this information in the form. They have my information. Sorry, my nose is really itchy. So I call them several times. Every single time I call Metabo, they say, okay, we're gonna transfer you to the repairs department. I'm like, okay, great. They never transfer me. Here's what happens instead. I will be on the phone for an hour, waiting on hold, in a queue. I'm always like the 13th or 14th person in line. By the time I get a hold of somebody and they transfer me, I just get kicked to the back of the queue. So now, instead of it transferring me, it never transfers me. It just kicks me to the back of the queue. And every time I call them, they say, oh, this time we'll do it. And I'm like, please do. Because the last time I was bounced around and I was on hold until the call dropped. And because, look, the first time it happened, okay, maybe it's just a fluke. Second time, okay, this is annoying. Please do it right this time. Third time, okay, now I'm pissed off. Because now I've wasted 3 hours on the phone. Where is my shit? Where is my tool? Like, where's my shit? Why are you trying to steal my property and just keep it? Are you just incompetent? What is happening here? And of course, I've been at work all week, so I can't call them every day. So the only days I can call them are days I'm off during the week, which is Wednesday. That's it. Formerly Monday, but formerly I was off Monday and Wednesday. Now I'm only off Wednesdays. Fucking kill me, right? And so, yeah, it's just really frustrating because I'm like, yeah, this is ridiculous. Where's my drill, or where's my impact? So I don't know. Where's my shit? Where is it? And I don't know what else, if I'm supposed to contact somebody else or what. The email with my tracking information with my label from when I sent it it's an automated email. There's no person on the other line. I can't contact that. So, and I tried to contact support at Metabo or whatever, and it's like really broken. Like, I can't, it won't let me actually send an email. So they're not letting me contact them for whatever reason. And yeah, it's ridiculous. So, I don't understand. It's frustrating because I've got vacuums that I'm trying to be able to extract the strip screws out of. Impacts are great for that. That's why I bought it. And I don't use it. And my fiance's like, why don't you just go buy a heart or something like that? I'm like, I already paid for my impact. I'm not going to buy it twice. That's ridiculous. I already paid once for the impact. I'm not going to buy it again. Meep.
Meep. I didn't bring you anything to drink because they were out of all the Mountain Dew flavors.
All of them?
Yep.
Wow.
But I think you have one more live wire in the fridge.
I think I do, yeah. It's fine. Let's see. I think iPhones. Wow. This was repeated a million times. I personally think iPhones age much better and have better haptics on older iPhones. How about you? I disagree. It will get to your message. Stop spamming. He. I don't mind. People can call me it. Pronouns don't bother me any. Like, people ask me, like, what are your preferred pronouns? I'm like, I don't give a shit. You can call me whatever. He, she, they, it. Doesn't bother me. Okay, I guess it bothers me a little bit, but only when it's said. If it's typed out, it's fine. But if someone actually says, like, oh, it's that, then I'm like, okay, that's a little mean. A little rude. But I know there's some people that are fine with that. But yeah, doesn't bother me any. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of iPhones. Just in general. They do tend to age better, though, admittedly. I know I kind of said, like tongue-in-cheek, like, nope. But they do often tend to age better. But only in terms of software. In terms of repairability, Samsungs generally have the edge. Or just, well, you can't say Android, because obviously there's a million different brands and models and all that, so it's not really a actual comparison. Mr. Who's the Boss sent Samsung one of his phones because the battery was swollen and they said they would give the phone back, but they didn't. Oh yeah, I can totally relate to that with Samsung. My S7 Edge exploded. And I sent it into them, and I sent it into them in December. And they only just now refunded me for it. And they dragged me through the mud the whole time. Because at first they said, "Oh, we're gonna fix your phone for you," because even though it's technically out of warranty, because of the safety issue, it's still covered. I'm like, okay, great. Then they say, "Oh, it's gonna be delayed because we can't get the parts." I'm like, okay. And then in January, they're like, we actually don't have an ability to repair this because we can't source the parts. So they're like, since we can't source the parts, we're actually just going to, since we can't source the parts, but since this fault is still our responsibility, we're going to just refund you the original purchase price of this phone. I'm like, okay, great. So then they say, so then I'm waiting on the refund in January. I'm like, where is it? I call them back multiple times. They say, oh, there's no updates. Then finally they say, oh, we're sending you a replacement device. And I'm like, I don't want a replacement device. I'm trying to get my refund. They're like, well, your only option is a replacement device. I'm like, no, you already asked me, and I said refund, and you put that in the system. Like, you can't change that. I did not authorize that. You gave me the option of a refund, and that's what I chose. You don't get to just change it after the fact, after I've been waiting on you to fulfill. Because this is what they were doing. They said they were going to give me a refund. And then as they strung me along the process, instead of giving me a refund, they dug in their back catacombs to try to find an S7 Edge. Yeah?
I'm going to go lay down.
Okay. I love you.
My foot hurts. So.
Okay, I love you.
Love you too. Hi, stream. Bye, stream.
All right, well, you sleep well. Make sure your foot doesn't fall off. Okay. So yes, so here's what they were doing. They were telling me they were going to give me a refund to shut me up, but then instead of them offering me at the time, instead of them giving me a refund, they just dug around in their warehouse until they could find an old S7 Edge still sitting somewhere new in the box. And they found one. And they're like, "We're going to give you a new device instead." And I'm like, "That's not what I wanted. I don't want another of this phone that is prone to exploding. I just want the money back because I don't care about this anymore." And they're like, "Nope, we're sending you a new phone. It's already sent." And I'm like, "I don't care. I didn't want it sent. Like, I don't care. Like, where's my refund?" And they're like, "Well, you're getting a new phone." And I'm like, "I don't want another S7 Edge." And wait, Samsung still had S7s on hand? Yeah, apparently they had one left. So here's what happened. They said, "Oh, you're gonna get this S7 Edge in the mail, and then that'll be it." And I'm like, "Okay." I was like, I'll wait till this comes in the mail, and then I'll just go from there. Never came. I checked the tracking information. It says damage reported, which I've never seen a package be marked as damaged before it was delivered. I don't know how that happens. But it said damage reported. I tried to call UPS. They had no idea what I was talking about. They could not find the phone. They had no idea where it was. Even though it was in my city, it was out for delivery before it said damage reported. So I call... Why is my nose itching so much? So I call Samsung. I'm like, "Hey, I never got this." And they're like, "Well, it shows here that it was delivered." And I'm like... I was like, "No, you are not doing this shit. I did not get this. Check the tracking number. It says damage reported. It does not say it was delivered. There's no delivery date." So he checks it and he's like, "Oh yeah, it says damage reported." I'm like, "So where's my phone?" And I reminded him. I was like, "I'd like to remind you that I didn't want this phone in the first place. So now you guys have to worry about finding this stupid phone and figure out what happened to it, and costing you guys as a company money, instead of just giving me the refund that I was supposed to get a month ago, and we could have been done with all this. And then, because now you're going to be out both the money and the phone, because there's no way I'm letting you guys send me a damaged phone after I went through all of this stupid crap." So here's what happened. They're like, "Okay, we're going to send you something different. We're going to send you a Galaxy S10e. And I'm like, "Fuck that. I don't want that. I want the refund." I was promised a refund. I don't care if you've changed your mind. I want the refund. That's what I will be getting. I don't want an S10e. That's not even the same phone. If you're trying to replace my S7 Edge, which is the bigger phone, with an equivalent S-series device that's the oldest one you have on hand, then it should be an S10 Plus, not an S10e. The S10e is the small model. But the guy insisted, like, "No, this is the same." I'm like, it's not. I don't care. I don't want it. He's like, "Well, that's your only option." I'm like, "Then I'm gonna keep calling back until I get the refund." Because here's the kicker. Because during this time, when I was trying to get the refund for that S7 after it was reported damaged, I got an email from a coordinator for that. They were one of the agents that was working on behalf of the relationship between Samsung and UPS. So they said, since your phone is, they said, "Here's what we can do." They said that we can refund you the price of the phone, but you have to give us proof of purchase. And I'm like, "I don't have proof of purchase." And they're like, "Well, without proof of purchase, we can't do anything, so haha." And I'm like, "Wait a minute. Hold the fuck on. Why do I need proof of purchase when the only reason we're in this situation is because you lost my phone? Why am I obligated to provide proof of purchase on this device when you guys have had my phone in your possession for 6 months? That's my proof of purchase. You have the damn phone. So even if I didn't pay full price for this stupid phone, you're trying to take my phone and keep it for whatever reason. You tried to send me another phone and I never got it. So why is the burden on me when I wouldn't be in this situation unless you lost the phone? TTI owns Samsung? No, they don't. Who the fuck said that? That's stupid. No, TTI doesn't own Samsung. I never said that. I said UPS. And UPS isn't owned by Samsung either. I said there was a coordinator between the two. So then, this person responded and said, well, without proof of purchase. Because what I said was, while I don't have an original receipt, here's both of the tracking numbers. The first one from when Samsung received the phone that I sent to them. And here's the tracking number stating that the replacement they attempted to send did not get delivered. And they said, without a valid purchase receipt, we can offer you a refund of $692.99. They're like, would you like to proceed with this offer? And I'm like, yes, let's do it. That's fine with me. And then no response. And I'm like, a few days later, I'm like, hello? Did you get my email? I do accept the offer of $692.99. What's the next step? No response. I'm like, hello? No response. Okay, this is fucking weird. Now that we're finally getting somewhere, the person that was specifically assigned to email me just ghosts. Okay, call Samsung back. And they say, oh, they weren't supposed to say that. You're actually not getting a refund. I'm like, this is the third fucking time that I was told that I was getting a refund for this phone. And they're like, no, the best we can do is give you an S10e. I'm like, you guys have proven that you are incapable of sending me a replacement device. Yes or no? You attempted to send me an S7 Edge from the same warehouse that you're trying to send me an S10e, and I never got it. It shows in the tracking number, it shows in your system, I never got the damn phone. So what makes you think that giving me another shitty phone, I didn't say shitty, I was not this mad over the phone. So I said, so how does it make sense that after the S7 Edge failed to get delivered to me and was damaged in transit, how would the same thing not happen to the S10e? I said, I do not accept the S10e. I just want the refund. Because I know what's going to happen if I accept the S10e. I'm not going to get it, and then we're going to be right back at square one, and I don't want to waste your guys' time. I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to waste your time. Give me the refund of $692.99 that has been promised to me 3 times now, and let's just get this over with. And they're like, well, sir, unfortunately, we can't do that because it has to be approved by upper management. I'm like, then put me on with upper management. Like, we can't do that because I'm like, look, I understand you're doing your job. I understand that you, the representative, are not at fault for this situation. It's the company you work for, not you. So this message that I'm about to say is not directed at you, it's directed at the company. But you guys, Samsung, as an entity, knows what is happening here. And they know that I'm going to fight this until I get what was promised. Because Samsung knows that it is not good on their reputation to tell a customer that an issue is being resolved only to be gaslit and lied to and told that the situation is not resolved and they have to keep calling and wasting their time and wasting representatives' time and costing Samsung money to pay these representatives, costing Samsung money to keep updating their internal system, costing Samsung money to keep sending out phones that are not going to be delivered and that are ultimately going to be lost in shipping. You guys are literally costing yourselves more money than if you just gave me the refund that was promised and we moved on. And this case could be closed and I'd be fine. If Samsung did the math on this, they would know this is the cheapest thing. Especially because if you give me an actual refund, I might actually have a chance at buying a new phone direct from Samsung, to which case they would actually be investing. And I really don't want to have to go to the... And I didn't threaten going to the press, but I was like, a lot of people who are in this situation would probably go to the press because they're getting a runaround over a phone that almost burned their fucking house down. So... And I even said, I appreciate how ironic this is. How the Galaxy S7 Edge, that was never recalled for catching fire or exploding, caught fire in my house and almost set my carpet on fire. Yet the Galaxy Note 7, the actual phone that was recalled for this issue, somehow has never given me this problem. And you guys have a Note 7 that I returned a month before the S7 Edge, and that, to this day, and this is not as of the phone call, this is as of today, April 28th, still has not been refunded. Even though I sent the phone November 17th. They received the Note 7 in their warehouse November 17th. And I still have not got my refund for the Note 7. The good news is that the other day, I finally got the refund for the S7 Edge. They finally gave it to me because they finally realized that I was going to keep calling them until this shit was situated. Because here's the thing, and this is a lesson. Do not let these companies walk all over you. Use your leverage. Because here's the thing, if they had never, at any point in this transaction, offered me a cash refund for the phone, I would have never said anything about it. But there was the fact that they promised it 3 different times, not because they were truly going to deliver, but because they wanted to get me off the phone and hope that I would forget about it. That's bullshit. Don't let these companies pull the wool over your eyes. Do not let them take advantage of you. And do not let them beat you down to the point where you give up. Because their feet need to be held to the fire until their batteries explode, apparently. And this is coming from a lifelong Samsung fan. Do you know how many fucking Samsung phones I have in front of me? This is the same shit that I had with Bissell. In fact, the Note 7, the phone that was exploded for recall, or that was recalled for exploding, I have 3 of them in the box. In their original boxes. None of them have exploded. But the S7 Edge, for some reason, exploded. So, that's that. None of them have exploded. For some reason, YouTube says it's not getting any data. Okay, good. It says excellent connection. I was really confused. But here's the thing. I told them, I was like, nope, I'm not taking your S10e. I'm getting my refund. And guess what I got? I got my refund. So that's good. So now, this stupid company, this is just a random Note 5. So now this stupid company, so here's what I don't understand. Why is it always the companies that I like the most that give me the most shit? It doesn't make any sense. Why is it always the companies that I promote their products? Why is it always the companies that I enjoy their products to the point where I consistently buy them over and over again that treat me the worst? Why does Samsung give me the runaround on every time they make a stupid phone that explodes when I've literally told many, many people to buy the Note series? Why is it that Bissell has given me the runaround so many times on their carpet cleaners, and those are still not resolved, even though I've probably sold hundreds of Bissells to people since I was 5 fucking years old. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. You would think the companies that you like the most, you would think they'd kiss your ass and be like, yes, we're going to give you what you want because we want you to have a good opinion of us. Which, I'm not even saying that's the right thing, because it's not. They should treat all their customers equally, and they should all be treating their customers good enough to the point where they can't be where they can't play favorites, because they're already treating their customers good. So, I don't understand why these companies keep shooting themselves in the foot. It's so easy to just do a couple of good things for just some good PR. It's so easy. And the ROI is insane. A company can literally give someone a free product, that person reviews it favorably, and then thousands of people will buy that product. Thousands. Where they will make thousands of dollars off of that person. And there are other companies that just don't get it. I'm not even saying give people free shit. I'm saying when somebody buys something, you stand behind the product. You stand behind the product. That's what you do. Here's a little word of advice. For any companies watching this stream, which none of them are, in fact, nobody's watching this stream. There's less than 10 people in this stream. But it's also very late. And I have work tomorrow. I gotta be at work in less than 12 hours. Which is annoying. They haven't resolved it in 3 decades now. Yeah, that's unfortunately true. I'm gonna go to bed. Good night. Yep, good night. You have a great rest of your night. I'm still scared to plug in the old F&G Eureka Edge cleaner in case it blows up or it may sound bad. And it has a bad switch. Can you recommend a bagged canister with electric power head for under $200? There really isn't. The only one that even comes to mind is Kenmore. Because there's some Kenmores you can get for like $150, but I don't even know if they're that great. But I don't know of any other options. Unless you're aware of something. In terms of brand new, that's pretty much going to be your only option. Because most powerhead canisters are more than that. With the really only exception being the Kenmore. Hoover carpet washers clean better and are better than Bissell since they are approved by the Carpet Rug Institute and they have documented deep cleaning abilities. I don't necessarily disagree with that. Because, I mean, it's true. They do clean better. And my anecdotal evidence is, yeah, all my Bissells cleaned horribly compared to the Hoover. Now, granted, when I had one of those Bissells, and when it was working, it worked very well, and I was very happy with it. But it didn't hold up. It didn't last for that long. But even when those Bissells were working perfectly, which was very few and far between, the Hoover still has the edge and still cleans better. And I think the horizontally rotating brushes is a smarter idea. At least for that type of machine. Did you ever manage to fix up the Phantom Fury Limited Edition? I did not. I haven't done anything to it yet because I can't source a motor for it. And yeah, I'm just really pissed off on that still. So my mom does not like the Uber Eats app. How about you? I don't really use food delivery apps. Even though I should, because, well, I mean, now I have my car back, so there's no reason for me to. But even then, all the places I would want to order food from didn't support DoorDash, so it's like... And even if they did, the food was like double the price, and it's like, Okay, I'm not going to spend $40 on lunch when I make $100 in a day. Like, that's stupid. If I'm going to spend that much, I'll just go across the street to the diner and get something for $10. Or just pack a lunch at that point, honestly. Just throw something in the microwave. I wouldn't get a Kenmore, to be honest. Their bags and power designs are very outdated. No, I agree. I wouldn't buy them, but I don't know of any other option in that price range. That's what I was saying. Like, is there a better option? Because that's the only one that even comes to mind. They still use steel wire hoses in the bags of gaskets. Yeah, there's a reason why no Kenmores were on my recommended list. There's a reason. Although there are some Kenmores that I probably would recommend, but the Kenmore Elite, I don't know if they still make that. I know they did, but I'm pretty sure they discontinued that. And then they have the Shark knockoff, which looks really good, but I haven't tried it yet, so I can't recommend something I haven't used. I'll let you know if I come across one. I think I saw one on eBay a bit ago. I saw one on eBay, but it was like $200, and that's not worth it. I don't like that the limited editions wand set up enough to justify spending that much money on it. I really don't. I can't stand that wand setup. It gouges the shit out of the attachments. Do you remember the old Kenmore Power Path uprights? Yeah, I think I have one. Don't I? They still make the Elite. Oh, okay. I thought they discontinued it finally. Yeah, I think I have. Yeah, they do still sell it. Okay, yeah, so I stand corrected. At first I thought it was discontinued, but then I was like, wait, I don't remember ever hearing about them not being sold, so who knows. We had one that was white and had a red letter. Yeah, I think I have a Kenmore Power Path. Don't I? Don't I have a green one? Yeah, I do. I thought that's what that thing was called, that Kenmore upright. My grandma's still trying to make a schedule to go to the Dyson factory. Yeah, the green one. Yeah, how is it that I don't remember? Because I know I have a green Kenmore that looks similar to a Panasonic, and I thought it was called the Power Path. I just don't remember if that was the name or not. I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah, so I definitely do have a green Power Path. Because I even remember where it is upstairs. It's right behind my Panasonics. Because I have the Panasonic Performance Plus Platinum. I have the Panasonic, whatever that new black and green one is that I can't remember the name of. Platinum Force, I think it's called. Or wait, isn't that the name of the Dirt Devil? It's probably the same name, though. If I had a nickel for every goddamn vacuum that was called the Power Max, I'd be a fucking millionaire. It's so annoying. Every vacuum. This is the Power Max. 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 It's a stupid name. Because that's like one of the only names where I've seen it actually go in between brands. It's Hoover, it's Dirt Devil, I think it's Ion Vac. It's just a million different brands all call everything Power Max. Obviously Hoover did it first. And Dirt Devil uses it the most nowadays because their entire lineup is called the Power Max or the Enduramax or the Power shit or whatever. Quiet Force. Yeah, Quiet Force. I really should daily drive that Panasonic. I really like that machine. I think... Oh, no. I remember why I don't. It's because I can't get my Clean Fairy bags to fit it. If Dyson still made Motorhead canisters, those would actually not be a bad option. You wouldn't get a bag, of course, but the old Motorhead canisters clean very well. Yeah. Hoover Power Max, everything else Power Max. What a surprise. Rick Hoover prefers Hoover to other brands. In other shocking news... The sky is blue. More at 11. I do remember the Daredevil Platinum Force bagless. Yeah, I still have it. It's rotting away in the basement. It's probably dead by now. I do want to fix that up at some point. It definitely, like, it's definitely a machine that can be fixed. I just need to source a brush roller for it. And I think maybe a belt, maybe something else. I can't remember. Alright. I'm going to stream for about 5 more minutes, then I'm going to go ahead and head out. So that's pretty much that. So, the recent poll results said that you guys want to see the Dial-O-Matic. I don't know why I put that on the poll. I don't want to use that machine. But whatever. I'm pretty sure it needs work anyways. I don't know why I put that on there. I think I meant to put the power drive. I don't think you guys will crucify me for that. Hopefully not. Do 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 do. My local Goodwill has a Platinum Force as their store vacuum, and it makes me cringe whenever I look at that being beat to hell. I remember one time, you just unlocked a memory. I remember when I was like 8 years old, and this is before I ever had my first Phantom, and I'd always wanted a Phantom. And there was a thrift store. They were using a an 11 amp Phantom Domestic as their store vacuum. And I remember asking them, I was like, hey, I went to the manager, I was like, hey, I've been wanting this exact vacuum. I haven't been able to find one anywhere. Is it possible that I could buy this from you? I'll even pay double of what you would have it tagged at, so that way that can cover the cost of you guys grabbing another vacuum off the floor and using that instead. And, you know, is there a way you could do that? Because I really want this machine, and I'll gladly pay for it. And for some reason, the manager just flipped his shit. I don't know what crawled up his ass that day. My stepmom was there with me. At the time, she was my stepmom. She's not anymore, obviously. But at the time, and she thought I approached it very well. It was very nice. I just asked a question. You know, thought, hey, if they say no, then whatever. And he got really angry. I don't know why he got so angry. I don't even remember what he was mad about or what he even said, but he was cursing at me. He was saying, I don't remember the words that were exchanged. I just know he was very upset for some reason. I don't know what he was ranting about. I don't know what the issue even was. I cried naturally because I was a little kid. I was getting screamed at for no reason when I just asked a question. And she was pissed. She was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And she had good reason to say that, because it's like, he just asked you a question. Like, we're offering to buy it. We're not saying, can we have it? It's like he wants that specific vacuum, and he's willing to pay for it. If I was asking for it for free, I could understand him being like, no. Which is not what I would do, but hey, you know, it's fair. It's a business. You got to make money. It's a thrift store, but still, you know, you got to make some money. But I was offering to pay him like a good amount of money for it. Because I believe it was one where they took the sticker off it, so I didn't know how much it was. But I offered to pay them, like, I'm pretty sure I offered to pay him like 40 or 60 bucks. Something like pretty reasonable for a thrift store. That most of their machines were tagged at, you know, 5, 10, maybe 20 bucks. And yeah, like, he was just really pissed, and I don't know why. I don't remember the context. I don't know if my little autistic brain was like saying words in a way that he thought was being rude. I don't know. I don't know the backstory. All I remember is I didn't get the Phantom, I was crying, and everyone was staring at this guy because he just bitched out a kid for no reason. So, that's all I remember. So no, I did not get the Phantom. And that actually happened a couple times. Not with that same store, with different stores. Did he get fired? I don't know. I don't know. This was years ago. I have no idea. If I guarantee he got fired at some point, because yeah, I mean, if definitely if he responded that way to a kid, if he didn't get fired then, he definitely got fired shortly after because he probably screamed at another customer for asking him probably a mundane question. So I don't know. I don't know. That's all I could say is I don't know. The only thing I remember from that story was wanting the Phantom. I knew what it was. I knew it was a domestic because it had the white and the purple. I knew that much. And I know that he was mad for some reason. I'm pretty sure, I almost wonder, because that was around the time that my dad bought me my first Phantom on eBay. I don't remember if it was right after that incident and like we told him about it. No, it would have been after that. Because, yeah, no, so this wouldn't have been 2008. This would have been like 2011 because this is when we all lived together by this point. And I already had a Thunder previously. But I wanted the domestic. And I remember I eventually got a domestic, but I don't have it anymore. And I wish I still did. I've said this a million times that I wish I still had that domestic. And I'm still trying to find another domestic. I'm still mad that guy tried to scam me on the 9-amp domestic. That Michael Balda asshole. So, but anyways. Anyways, it's midnight. If you guys have any other suggestions or questions before we head out, definitely drop them real quick in the comments. Let me know what videos you want to see. I don't know if you guys could tell, but I got kind of burned out over the last week. I haven't put out like a really good video all week, and the videos I've been putting out on fixing up the DC07 have clearly not gotten any traction. So I need to put something out that's good and that you guys actually like. So maybe I should just do like a freeform suggestion thing. Like, what do you want to see next? Maybe I should start doing those story videos. Maybe people would like those, I'm not sure. Would also love an 11-amp Phantom domestic. First Phantom I ever experienced, yeah. Is the Dyson Kinetic Big Ball a great vacuum for commercial areas? I don't think so, no. I think of all the scenarios where the Kinetic would not be proper compared to a UP13 or a UP20, it'd definitely be commercial. Because the amount of fine dust, like you just want to get one with the filter. Do a review of an Auric XL Pro Plus and XL2 and 9100. So basically review all my Aurics. Okay. Yeah, I could do that. I feel like they get boring after a while, but I'll still do it. The XL Pro Plus and the XL2 Ultra will probably get reviewed first, since those are ready. I'd like to see a thorough review of the Cyclone XT at some point. Not too many views use the XT, at least in depth. That's true. I guess I was about to do a review on the Lightning, but I haven't done that yet. I haven't reviewed the Thunder yet, have I? No, I haven't. I've only reviewed the Fury. Damn. I guess I need to do all the Phantoms. That's so weird, because I'm like the Phantom person. Because now that Michael and Zach have kind of disappeared off the face of the earth YouTube-wise, I guess someone's got to take the Phantom mantle, and I guess it's going to be me. I'm so ready for you to review the new Helix. Well, it's not the new Helix, it's the new Clean View, but it's the same thing. They're the same price. I got the Clean View version because it was on Amazon, so the return policy is really good, and it's blue, which goes a long way for me, as you can tell. I'm looking for making my first vacuum video on the DC23 Motorhead this weekend. You should do it. I'd watch it. We're also wanting to track down a Phantom commercial that was seen on HSN2. That is true. Anything with Phantom that I don't have, or do have for that matter. I'm about to buy 2 Furies off of somebody in Canada. And I'm trying to buy a Fury off somebody here in the States, but they're struggling to find a box. I went to a thrift store years ago and they had the pink convertible, and the woman yelled at me because apparently I wasn't allowed to be in the back, even though there was no sign that I wasn't allowed to. See, I can understand why she got upset, but at the same time, you don't yell at a kid. You just don't. I don't care. I don't care how angry you are. You don't yell at a kid. I don't care if you're their parent. I don't care if you're an employee of somewhere. You don't yell at a kid. You just don't do it. If you do, and you don't recognize that that was a mistake, you're a piece of shit. There's not really other way. Hot takes, guys. Hot takes. You shouldn't yell at kids. You also shouldn't hit them either. But for some reason, that's controversial these days. Let's see. I made another channel for vacuum stuff. Nice. A review on any of the Phantoms would be very interesting. I would love to get more Phantom, but I only own the Fury right now. Yeah. Yelling at your own kid is already bad. Someone else's kid, that's even worse. I can't imagine. I can't even fathom the idea of yelling at somebody else's kid. I'll be honest. Are there some kids where I've wanted to yell at them? Absolutely. There's some shitty fucking kids out there. But you don't do that. Here's one thing that is acceptable, and I will die on this hill. If the kid's being a piece of shit and the parent's not doing anything about it, you have a right to yell at the parents. You have a right to yell at the parents. Not the kid, though. Very, very different. You're allowed to yell at the parents. You're allowed to yell at the parents about the kid. You can be like, hey, control your fucking kid. But you do not yell at the kid themselves. Don't do it. Very important distinction. There's some shitty fucking parents out there, and people always talk about, oh, we worship children too much. No, we don't. We worship parents too much. So many people think that just because they have a kid that they're all of a sudden responsible people who know how to raise another human being. You're not. You're just an idiot who didn't learn how to pull out. Just be honest. And I'm not saying that of everybody. And, if someone took offense to that, sorry, but hey, if the shoe fits, right? Because I hate parents that are just like, well, I'm the parent, therefore I'm right. It's like, no, you got to still apply logic and reason to the reasons why you're telling your kid not to do something. If you can't do that, then you're a shitty parent and you don't know how to articulate yourself properly, at least not enough to you have to be able to explain why you're doing something. So if a kid says, why can't I do this? Explain it to them. So for example, here's a good example that I'll actually take from my childhood. If your kid runs out in the middle of the street while there's traffic happening, not in traffic, but while there's still traffic nearby, what you don't do is you don't tell the kid, well, you don't tell them, hey, get back here. And when they say why, well, I should clarify. While they're in the road, you can say, get back here, get back here, get back here. Because at that point, your concern is getting them out of the road, obviously. You're not trying to explain shit while you're doing that. But afterwards, when you get them back, and they say, why can't I go out on the road? You say, because it's dangerous, there are cars nearby. A lot of those cars could potentially be driven by people who are distracted. You don't want to get hit by a car. It will hurt. And it could make you not alive. There's probably a better way to say those words, but you know what I'm trying to say. You don't say, oh, because I said so. Because then, when you use because I said so, especially when you use it all the time, the kid is not going to understand the context of what it is you're trying to teach them. So if you respond the same way, to every single thing that you're telling them to do, they're going to see it all on a level playing field, because to them, you're giving the same reaction to everything. There isn't any dichotomy based on how serious the thing is you're trying to explain. On top of that, they don't understand why they have to do or not do something. So as a result, they do not have the building blocks in their mind to remember how to not do something. Because this is something a lot of people don't understand. You're not going to remember not to do something because you were told not to do it. I know it's controversial. And especially, here's a very important point. You need to know why something is the way it is. Because kids are not stupid. If you explain to them intuitively how something works, they're gonna understand it. So many adults don't remember what it's like to be a kid. But when you're a kid, you still know a lot of things, and you can still rationalize, you can still come to conclusions based on evidence. So it's not necessary to gaslight your kids and insult them and treat them like they're fucking stupid when you could explain the real reason behind doing something. Because then, what happens is they don't know how to rationalize it. And then, here's what parents do. Instead of explaining it to their kids, they'll just tell them, oh, you need to do this or else I'm going to yell at you. Or you need to do this or else I'm going to punish you. Whether it's being grounded, whether it's having your stuff taken away, or whether it's being beaten. And that doesn't instill any problem-solving skills in your kid. All it teaches them is to be scared of you. And teaching someone who is supposed to feel safe in your presence to be scared of you does not teach them anything about life skills. It does not teach them anything about how to problem solve, how to reason, how to come to reasonable conclusions about different decisions that they can make, both in the moment and over time. And it also does nothing at helping them build positive, healthy relationships, especially going into adulthood. I got off on quite the tangent there, but it's true. Anyways, we got off on quite the tangent there, but Intellitech parenting is what we're apparently at now. And it's funny how people have no problem saying, oh, you give great relationship advice for somebody who's not in a relationship. People will say that all the time, but people always say, well, you don't have kids, you're not allowed to talk about parenting. It's like, and just because you have kids doesn't mean you're good at parenting. It doesn't. So it goes both ways. I can just as much observe what is happening and come to reasonable conclusions based on what I've witnessed and what I've gone through as a kid. Because everybody's been a kid. Everybody was a kid for 18 years. So, you know what it's like. Why is my phone not charging? Anyways, so no, I did not watch the Super Mario movie. And that's a good note to end on, because it's midnight 15. I am tired. I want to go to bed. And this is Intellitech Studios signing out. I'll see you guys in the next video, and I hope you all have a good one. Peace! And I hope you all have a good one.